The evening sky over the city was a sheet of fading gold when the news broke. Adrien Cole divorces again, the television anchor announced, her voice sharp with the excitement of a breaking story. After just 8 months of marriage, the billionaire businessman and his wife, model Clara Harris, have officially separated. Sources close to the couple say irreconcilable differences led to the split. It was the 4th time in 6 years. Across coffee tables and crowded buses, people shook their heads. "Is he cursed?" a woman in a hair salon whispered, her hair half wrapped in foil. Money can buy everything but a stable marriage. But inside the tall glass tower that Adrien called home, the man at the center of the storm sat in silence. Adrien Cole, 35 years old, owner of Cole Global Investments, was a man who looked as if life had given him every gift. He was tall, with shoulders that filled a suit perfectly and eyes the color of dark coffee. His penthouse overlooked the glittering skyline, and his private garage held more cars than most people would drive in a lifetime. Yet his heart, for all the world's attention, was a locked vault. He switched off the television and leaned back in the leather chair. He should have felt something: anger, regret, even relief. But as always, there was only a familiar emptiness. They were all the same, he thought, women who wanted the thrill of wealth, the glamour of being Mrs. Cole. They came with promises of love and loyalty, but beneath the surface he found either greed or boredom. He told himself he was protecting his heart, but each divorce added another crack to the shell of his reputation. Far across town, in a quieter part of the city, Adrien's parents sat together in their large but warm family home. Eleanor Cole's eyes were red from crying. She held her husband's hand tightly. "4 marriages, George," she said in a trembling voice. 4. Each one shorter than the last. What is happening to our son? George Cole rubbed his forehead. He was a strong man in his 60s, once a fierce businessman himself, now retired. "I raised him to be a leader, to be strong," he said, "but I fear we also raised him to be cold. Maybe we gave him too much too soon." Eleanor shook her head. "It is as if there is a shadow over him. Women come into his life and leave broken, and now people whisper that our family is cursed. I hear it at church, even the pastor hinted at it." George sighed. Adrien does not believe in curses, he believes in numbers and contracts. But something is wrong. He does not know how to stay married, how to keep a heart. They sat in heavy silence. A grandfather clock ticked softly in the corner. Eleanor thought of the small village where she and George were born, miles away from the noise of the city. Life there was simple. Children played in the red dust, elders shared stories by moonlight, and marriages lasted because people believed in more than luxury. "George," she said slowly, "maybe we are looking in the wrong place. Adrien chooses women from the city, models, actresses, women who chase the spotlight. Maybe he needs a wife who does not care about his money. A woman who comes from where we came from." George looked at her, startled. "You mean, from the village?" "Yes," Eleanor said, her eyes brightening with sudden hope. "A woman who knows the value of family and respect. Someone humble who will not be blinded by wealth. Maybe she will teach Adrien what love truly means." George hesitated. "Adrien will laugh at the idea." "Then let him laugh," Eleanor replied firmly, "but we must try. Our son is losing his soul, George. If we do nothing, he will grow old, richer, and completely alone." That same night, Adrien stood on the balcony of his penthouse, the cool breeze brushing his face. He sipped his glass of wine and thought of the women he had married. Clara, with her perfect photographs and constant demands for parties. Before her there was Vanessa, who loved shopping more than conversation. Before Vanessa, there was Leah, who tried to mother him and ended up resenting him. And the first, Sophia, his college sweetheart, whose love turned to bitterness when she realized he would never share his fears. Each relationship began like a dream and ended like a business deal, with lawyers and signed papers. He had become almost mechanical about it. His phone buzzed. It was his mother. He considered ignoring the call, but something in his heart, a rare flicker of guilt, made him answer. "Hello, Mother?" "Adrien," Eleanor said softly, "we need to talk." "Your father and I are worried. I know what this is about," he said with a tired sigh. "Please, not tonight." "I don't need another lecture." "It's not a lecture," she insisted. "It's about your life." "Adrien, You cannot keep living like this. 4 marriages. Do you even want happiness? Adrien's voice cooled. Mother, happiness is an illusion. People change. Feelings die. Marriage is a contract, and sometimes contracts end. That's all. Her silence on the other end was heavy. Then she said, Your father and I are coming to see you tomorrow. We must speak in person. Before he could protest, she ended the call. Adrien stared at his phone. His parents rarely demanded anything of him. Whatever they planned, he knew it would not be a simple conversation. The next morning, the Coles drove back to their ancestral village, a 4-hour journey through rolling hills and quiet farmlands. The air smelled of rain and wet earth. Children waved as the car passed, and women carrying baskets balanced them with graceful ease. Eleanor felt her heart relax. Here, life moved at the rhythm of nature. People greeted one another by name. There was no rush, no endless race for wealth. They stopped at the home of Mr. and Mrs. Obi, old friends from childhood. The Obis welcomed them with wide smiles. Eleanor, George, it has been too long, Mrs. Obi said, hugging Eleanor tightly. After a warm meal, Eleanor shared their worry. Our son Adrien is successful but lost. He cannot keep a wife. We fear he will end his life alone. We want a young woman from here, someone humble, someone strong. Mr. Obi nodded slowly. I know a family, he said. Their daughter is a treasure. Her name is Amara. She teaches the village children. She is gentle but wise beyond her years. Will she agree to marry a man she does not know? George asked. Mrs. Obi smiled. Amara is thoughtful. If it is God's plan, she will listen. Amara Obi was 24, with warm brown skin and eyes that shone like morning dew. Her hair, usually tied in a simple bun, framed a face both gentle and quietly strong. That evening she finished wiping the chalk from the blackboard of the small village school. The last of her pupils had skipped home, their laughter still floating down the dusty path. Amara loved these quiet moments, the smell of worn books, the thrill of children discovering words. She slung her small bag across her shoulder and walked the narrow track back to her family compound. Her mother met her at the gate, excitement in her eyes. Amara, you are just in time. The Coles came from the city today. They are old friends of ours, Amara frowned. The Coles? I don't know them. They left only a few minutes ago, her father added, stepping out from the veranda. They came with a request. Their son, his name is Adrien, is looking for a wife. They wish you to meet him. Amara stopped short, startled. A wife? Me? I don't even know this man. Her mother smiled carefully. Their son is a billionaire. Very successful in the city. Amara's eyebrows rose. A billionaire? She gave a short, incredulous laugh. Then why are they searching for a wife in our village? Something is not right. Her father tried to keep his tone gentle. Amara, listen first before you decide. The Coles came today because they are worried about their son, Adrien. He is very rich, a billionaire in the city, but his life is troubled. He has married 4 times already. Each marriage ended quickly. The women could not stay with him. Amara's eyes widened. 4 wives, she asked, hardly believing it. Her father nodded. Yes, 4. His parents fear he will remain alone. They want a woman with a clean heart, someone humble and strong. They have watched you since you were a child, and they believe you have those qualities. Amara shook her head slowly. No. If he is so rich and yet cannot keep a wife, maybe he is proud. Or worse. 4 marriages and each one ended. Either he is cursed, or he is a wicked man who cannot love anyone. Amara, her mother said softly, do not speak harshly. They say he has simply not found the right woman. That is what people always say when the truth is ugly, Amara replied. I will not go running to a stranger because he has money. I am a teacher, not a trophy. Her father stepped closer. We will not force you, child. But at least pray about it. Sometimes destiny knocks when we least expect it. Amara turned her face toward the darkening sky. The first stars were blinking awake. If destiny knocks, it should knock on someone else's door, she said quietly. I am not going to the city to marry a man whose heart I cannot trust. She walked to the old mango tree behind the house and sat down, letting the night air cool her rising anger. A faint breeze carried the smell of rain, and for a moment she listened to the rustling leaves. Her thoughts churned. A billionaire who cannot keep a wife, proud, cursed, or simply cruel. Why should I step into that storm? A week later, Eleanor Cole lifted the phone and called her son. "Adrien," she said with quiet determination, "your father and I have found someone for you to meet. Her name is Amara. She is from our village." Adrien almost laughed. "You want me to marry a village girl? Mother, this is absurd. You have tried the city way 4 times and failed," she said firmly. "Try this way once. Meet her. That is all we ask." Adrien's pride bristled. He imagined a shy, unsophisticated girl who would not last a week in his world. But the weariness in his mother's voice gave him pause. He owed them at least a meeting. "Fine," he said at last. "I will meet her." Back in the village, Amara told her 2 best friends what her parents had said about the rich man from the city. One friend, Nozi, quickly looked unhappy. She said, "Amara, do not marry that man. 4 wives already and all of them left. Something is wrong with him. Maybe he is proud or even cursed. Stay here in the village. Do not go." But the other friend, Ruth, laughed. "Amara, what are you still doing in this poor village? Go to the city, my friend. This is your chance. I wish you luck. Please do not forget me when you get there. If you marry a billionaire, you will live like a queen." Amara shook her head. "I do not know what to do. I do not even know this man. 4 wives, it is too much. Maybe he is not a good person." Nozi frowned. "That is why you must say no. A man like that will only give you pain." Ruth said, "Nozi, you are just jealous. If it were you, you would run to the city at once. Amara, listen to me. Billionaire men do not come every day. Think well." Amara looked at both of them. "I will pray about it." But I am not sure. Later in the evening, after they all went their different ways, Nozi walked home with a heavy heart. When she entered her small house, her mother looked up and said, "Nozi, why is your face like this? What is the matter?" Nozi sat down and spoke in a low voice. "Mama, do you know what I heard today? That ugly Amara, yes, that Amara who thinks she is better than everyone, her parents want her to marry a billionaire from the city. Can you imagine? All the men in this village already love her. Now even a rich man from the city wants her. I wish she will not agree to marry him so that his parents can choose me instead." Her mother's eyes widened. "A billionaire?" "Yes, Mama," Nozi said quickly. "But it is not fair. Amara always gets everything. People praise her. Even the young men in the village follow her like bees. Now this rich man also wants her. How I wish she will not agree. Maybe if she refuses, they will notice me." Her mother sighed. "Do not worry, my daughter. Tomorrow I will go to Amara's mother. You know she is my friend. I will talk to her. I will tell her to make sure her daughter does not agree to this marriage. If Amara says no, the rich family may look in our direction." Ngozi's eyes brightened. "Mama, you will really talk to her?" Her mother nodded. "Yes. Leave it to me. We shall see what will happen." Ngozi felt a secret joy. She tried to hide her smile, but inside she was already dreaming that the rich man's parents would soon come looking for her. The next morning, as soon as the sun rose, Mama Ngozi hurried to Amara's house. She tied her scarf tightly and walked fast, ready to speak with her friend before the girl could change her mind. When she reached the compound, she called out, "Good morning." "Where is Amara's mother?" Amara's mother came out smiling. "Good morning, my friend." "You came early today." Mama Ngozi lowered her voice. "Yes, I came to talk about your daughter. I heard the Coles want her to marry their son. I want to tell you—" Before she could finish, Amara's mother gently shook her head. "Ah, my sister, you came late. Their driver came very early this morning. Adrien's parents sent him. Amara has already left for the city to meet them." Mama Ngozi's mouth fell open. "She has gone, already?" "Yes," Amara's mother said. "The driver came before the cock crowed. We barely had time to pack her small bag. They said their son wants to meet her today." Mama Ngozi tried to smile, but her heart sank. "So soon," she murmured. "I thought I would see her before she left." She left only an hour ago, Amara's mother replied. Pray for her, my friend. This is a big step, Mama Ngozi nodded slowly. Yes, I will pray. But inside she was disappointed. All her plans to stop the marriage had vanished like smoke. She turned and walked back home, her steps heavy. I came too late, she thought bitterly. Now the rich family will never look in our direction. And if Amara wins the heart of that billionaire, she will be far above us all. In the city, the black luxury car rolled smoothly into the wide driveway of the Cole family mansion. Amara stepped out first, clutching the small bag her mother had packed. Her eyes moved slowly over the tall glass walls and shining marble steps. She had never seen a house so big. For a moment she stood still, feeling very small. Inside the living room, Adrien was waiting. When the door opened and Amara walked in, he lifted his eyes and almost laughed aloud. This is the girl they brought for me, he thought. She wore a simple blue gown. She held herself straight, yet everything about her shouted village. Adrien leaned back and gave a short, mocking smile. So this is the famous Amara, he said. The village girl my parents keep talking about. Amara lowered her eyes politely. Good afternoon, sir. He chuckled. Sir. Oh, that is sweet. My parents must think I cannot find a wife on my own. And this is what they bring me? He looked her up and down. Too local for me. Amara felt her cheeks grow warm, but she said nothing. Adrien stood and walked around her slowly, as if she were a strange object. Tell me, he said, do you even know how to live in a place like this? Can you handle the city lights? Or will you run back to your village after 1 week? Still, Amara kept quiet. She remembered her father's words. Sometimes destiny knocks when we least expect it. She would not answer with anger. Adrien laughed again, shaking his head. You look like you have never seen a house like this before. My parents really think you can be my wife. Impossible, he turned to the maid. Take her to the guest room. I will talk to my parents later. This experiment will not last. Amara followed the maid without a word. In her heart she prayed for strength. She knew the journey ahead would not be easy, but she also knew she would not let his pride crush her spirit. Later that evening, Adrien called his parents on a video chat. He leaned back in the leather chair, a half smile on his face. Mother, father, he said, your village project has arrived. I met her today. Eleanor's voice came through first. And? Adrien gave a short laugh. You really expect me to marry this girl? She is too local for me. She looked lost the moment she stepped into the house. This cannot work. His father's voice was calm but firm. Adrien, you have chosen 4 wives by yourself, and every marriage failed. This time, listen to us. Do not judge her after only a few hours. Adrien rolled his eyes. Father, please. I can already tell. She does not belong in my world. Your world has not given you happiness, Eleanor said quietly. Give her a chance. Show respect. That is all we ask. Adrien smirked. Fine, she can stay a few days, but do not expect me to pretend that I like her. We are not asking you to pretend, his father replied. We are asking you to open your heart. Adrien gave a dry laugh. My heart? After 4 divorces. Mother, father, this will not end the way you hope. Still, Eleanor said, be kind. That is the beginning of change. Adrien said nothing more and ended the call. In the guest room, Amara sat on the edge of the bed, hands folded in her lap. The city lights blinked through the tall window. She could almost hear the sound of her village at night, crickets, children's soft laughter, but it was far away now. She thought of the man who had looked at her as if she were a joke. Too local for me, he had said with his eyes even before he opened his mouth. Amara closed her eyes and whispered a quiet prayer. Lord, give me strength. I will not let his pride make me small. Later that night, Amara came to Adrien's room. My husband, she said quietly. Since we are now husband and wife, I think we should talk about the future, about our life together, about having children someday. Adrien raised his eyes and stared at her, then burst out laughing. You must be joking, he said, shaking his head. Future? Children? With you? Amara's heart tightened. Why do you say that? Adrien stood and pointed to the door. Because this is not a real marriage. My parents wanted a village bride. I agreed only to keep them quiet. Do you think I will plan my future with a girl I barely know? Amara swallowed hard. But we are married now. Shouldn't we at least try? Enough, Adrien cut in. Get out now. My guests will arrive soon. I don't want them to see you here and start asking questions. Go back to the guest room and stay there. Amara looked at him for a long moment. So you brought me here only to insult me? She asked softly. Adrien gave a short, careless laugh. Believe what you want. Just leave. I have no time for village dreams of family. Amara turned without another word. She walked out of the study and closed the door behind her. Later that night, the big house was noisy with music. Adrien had come home with two beautiful women from the city. They sat with him in the living room, laughing and drinking wine as if it were a party. Amara stood at the top of the staircase, half hidden behind the railing. She watched the women throw their heads back in laughter while Adrien poured more drinks. Not once did he look toward the stairs. Her heart felt heavy. Only 2 days in this house, she thought, and he already brings women into our home. Is this what marriage means to him? She turned away quietly and went to the guest room. Tears filled her eyes. She picked up her phone and called the only person she could trust, Adrien's mother. Mama Cole, she said in a shaky voice. When Eleanor answered, I am sorry to call you this late. But I cannot stay here anymore. Only 2 days, and your son has brought women into the house. They are laughing and drinking with him, as if I am invisible. I want to go back to my village where people value me. Eleanor's voice was full of concern. Oh, my beautiful daughter, please don't cry. I know my son is behaving badly. That is why we chose you for him. We need someone strong to help change his heart. Amara wiped her tears. Mama, he insults me. He does not even hide it. I don't think I can live like this. Please, Eleanor begged softly. That is why we married you for him. We have prayed for years. We believe you can touch the part of him that no one else has reached. Please, my beautiful daughter, do not go back yet. Give him some time. Change him for us. Amara was silent for a moment, the phone trembling in her hand. Mama, I will try, she said at last, but if he does not change, I will leave him. I cannot live like this forever. That is all I ask, Eleanor said gently. Just try a little longer. And remember, you are not alone. We are with you. When the call ended, Amara sat on the bed and closed her eyes. The laughter from downstairs floated up the stairs like a cruel echo. Her heart ached, but she whispered a quiet prayer. Give me strength, Lord. If he will not change, give me the courage to walk away. 2 months passed quickly. One bright Saturday morning, Amara heard excited voices calling her name from the gate. She hurried out and saw her 2 best friends, Nozi and Ruth, waving and smiling. Amara, Ruth shouted, we missed you so much. Nozi grabbed her in a tight hug. Ah, my friend, you now live in paradise. This house is bigger than 3 villages together. Amara smiled faintly and led them inside. Come and sit down, she said. It is good to see you both again. Ruth looked around the wide sitting room and shook her head. My dear, you are swimming in money. Look at this place, so big, so shiny. You are living the life of a queen. How I wish to be in your shoes. Amara's smile faded. Don't wish for what you don't understand. This man is wicked and so proud. I wish I never married him. Ngozi's eyes widened. Then leave him, she said quickly. Come back to us in the village. He is not worth your time or your tears. Ruth gave Ngozi a sharp look. Don't listen to her. She is foolish. Ngozi, you talk too much. Do you think it is that easy to walk away? Amara, you are still married. At least think before you decide anything. Ngozi folded her arms. I regret bringing you here, Ruth. Tomorrow morning we are leaving for the village. This man is not a husband. Amara reached out and touched both their hands. No, my friends, don't quarrel. You both are my best friends. At least spend the weekend with me. Please, let us talk and laugh like before. Ruth smiled and nodded. Okay, we will stay. Ngozi's face lit up. Yes, I know your rich husband will take us round the city. Girl, you are swimming in money. Look how big this house is. Ah, this is my dream. Amara sighed and looked away. Inside her heart she wished the dream was real. That evening, Adrien returned home earlier than usual. As he stepped into the house, he heard laughter and the sound of clinking cups coming from the kitchen. He walked in and stopped. Two young women he had never seen before were standing beside the counter. They were laughing as if the house belonged to them. Adrien's face hardened. He turned and walked straight to the guest room where Amara stayed. He stepped inside. "Amara, who are these people?" he demanded. Amara turned, surprised by the sharpness in his voice. "They are my friends from the village, Nozi and Ruth. They came to visit me." Adrien's eyes narrowed. "You brought total strangers into my house without telling me." "They will leave tonight." Amara's heart skipped. "Adrien, please listen. They are my closest friends. They came unannounced. I didn't even know they were coming." "I don't care," Adrien snapped. "This is my house. They will leave tonight." Something in Amara broke. For months, she had stayed silent. She straightened her back and faced him. "Never. Who the hell do you think you are? You are so full of yourself. Is it because I have been keeping quiet? You must be joking. They go nowhere. They will stay till next week." Adrien stared, shocked. "What did you just say to me?" "I know I should have told you about their visit," Amara said firmly, "but they came unannounced." "What would you have me do? Tell them to walk all the way back to the village tonight? Come on, that's not fair, my darling husband." Adrien's eyes blazed. "How dare you talk to me like that? You will leave my house soon. I can't take this nonsense anymore. No woman has ever spoken to me this way. Tomorrow I will call my parents. This rubbish has to stop." Amara's anger cooled and she reached out. "Adrien, wait, please, I'm sorry. I only wanted to welcome my friends." Without another word, he turned and walked out, his footsteps echoing through the hallway. Late that night, the house was quiet. Adrien sat alone in the living room, reading messages on his phone. The only sound was the soft hum of the air conditioner. Nozi stepped in slowly, pretending to be shy. "Good evening, sir," she said, her voice low. Adrien looked up. "Yes? What is it?" Nozi came closer and sat on the edge of the sofa. "I hope I'm not disturbing you," she said. "I just want to talk." Adrien frowned but said nothing. Nozi then gave a small sigh. "Sir, there are things you don't know about Amara. People in the village talk about her. She pretends to be a saint, but she is not. Many men there have seen her underwear. She is just a local school teacher, nothing special." Adrien's eyes narrowed. "Careful with your words." But Nozi kept talking. "You need a woman who is classy and intelligent. Someone like me. I have the qualities you need. I am more intelligent than Amara and more beautiful too. She does not fit in your world." "I do." Adrien sat back, shocked. "What are you saying?" Nozi smiled slightly. "I am saying you should not waste your time with her. Marry someone like me. I can give you what Amara cannot." For a moment, Adrien stared at her, silent. Then he put down his phone and his face turned hard. "I know I am not a saint," he said slowly. "Yes, I love women. Yes, I have made mistakes, but not someone like you. I will never do that to Amara. For your information, she is my wife, and far more beautiful and intelligent than you will ever be." By far, Nozi's smile faded. "You are an evil friend," Adrien continued, his voice rising. "You came into my house to destroy your own friend. Tomorrow morning, you and the other village girl will leave this house early. Now get out of my sight, you local cheap girl." Nozi's mouth opened, but no words came. Adrien shouted, "Out!" Now shaken, she stood and hurried away, her face burning with shame. Adrien watched her go, anger still hot in his chest. "So this is the kind of friend Amara has," he thought. "I will make sure she knows the truth." Early the next morning, Adrien acted on his decision. Before the sun was fully up, he called the driver and gave clear instructions. When Nozi and Ruth came down for breakfast, they found their bags already packed and waiting near the door. Adrien stood there with a cold expression. "Good morning," he said flatly. "Your visit is over. The driver will take you both back to the village now." Ruth looked shocked. "So soon?" "We planned to stay the weekend." Adrien's voice was firm. "Plans have changed." Nozi tried to speak, her face pale. "Adrien, Not a word from you," he cut in sharply. "I know exactly what you tried to do last night. You are a disgrace to friendship. You will leave my house immediately." Ruth turned to her friend, confused. Ngozi, what is he talking about? Adrien pointed toward the door. You will hear the full story on the way home if she has the courage to tell you. But right now, both of you are going back to the village. My driver is waiting. Ruth looked at Amara, who had just stepped into the room, surprised by the tense voices. Amara? Adrien said firmly. Amara, you will hear everything later. For now, let them go. Ngozi opened her mouth again, but Adrien raised his hand. Enough. Out. Now the driver picked up their bags and opened the door. Ruth, still confused, followed silently. Ngozi kept her head down, shame burning her cheeks. She dared not meet Amara's eyes. When the door closed and the car drove away, the house became quiet again. Adrien turned to Amara. Your friend Ngozi came to me last night. She said terrible lies about you and even asked me to marry her instead. I sent her away for your own good. Amara gasped. She said that? Yes, Adrien said, his voice softer now. I may be proud and foolish sometimes, but I will never betray you like that. I will never entertain someone who tries to destroy you. Amara felt a mix of hurt and relief. Tears stung her eyes. I trusted her, she whispered. Adrien sighed. I am sorry you had to find out this way. But now you know who your true friends are. Amara nodded slowly. Her heart ached, but she also felt strangely lighter. The mask had fallen from a false friend. The following day, late in the afternoon, Adrien walked into the house with another woman at his side. Adrien left the woman in the sitting room and went alone to the kitchen where Amara was washing some fruit. Without even lowering his voice, he said, My guest is hungry. Get her some food to eat. Amara froze. Adrien, you brought another woman here again. In our house. He raised an eyebrow. Why are you angry? I told you to give her food, not a lecture. Adrien, this is insulting, Amara said. You cannot keep bringing women here as if I am invisible. We are married. Adrien gave a dry laugh. Married? You should not be angry. I never wanted this marriage in the first place. My parents forced it on me. Those words cut through her like a knife. For a moment she could not speak. Then, softly but firmly, she said, Adrien, from the first day I saw you, I loved you. He turned and stared at her, then suddenly burst out laughing. No, never. Don't start that talk. I don't want to marry. I'm done with all women. I just want to enjoy myself. Adrien. She tried to speak, but he cut her off. Women have too many problems. All of you nag too much. You married me because of my money. You think I don't know? Amara's eyes filled with tears. That is not true, she whispered. But Adrien had already turned his back. Save your words, he said coldly, and walked away, leaving her standing in the kitchen with tears sliding down her cheeks. Days passed. Amara's heart ached each time she remembered his words, but instead of letting the pain swallow her, she began to think about her own life. I cannot sit here waiting for him to value me, she told herself. I must do what I love. From childhood, teaching had been her joy, the sound of children reading, the bright curiosity in their eyes. Those were the things that gave her life meaning. One evening she spoke to Adrien while he was checking his emails. Adrien, she said quietly, I want to go back to teaching. That is what makes me happy. He didn't even look up from his laptop. Whatever, he said, do what you want. I don't care. His indifference hurt, but it also gave her freedom. The next morning she called Eleanor, Adrien's mother. Mama Cole, she said, I want to teach again. But I don't know how to find a school here. Eleanor's voice warmed instantly. My daughter, that is wonderful. I know the owner of a good private school not far from here. I will speak to them today. True to her word, Eleanor made a few calls. Within a week, Amara had an interview. 2 days later, the school offered her a job as a teacher in their junior section. When she brought home the appointment letter, Adrien glanced at it without interest. Good for you, he said flatly, then returned to his phone. Amara smiled faintly and walked away. For the first time since she came to the city, she felt a spark of her old self returning. Standing at the window that evening, she whispered to herself, I will not let his pride destroy my purpose. I came here as a wife, but I will not lose the teacher I was born to be. Days later, Amara's phone rang while she was arranging books for her new class. It was Ruth. "Amara," Ruth said the moment Amara answered, "I have been thinking about that day in the city. I am still not happy about the way your husband chased us out. I keep asking myself what I did wrong. I can't remember offending him at all." Amara sighed. "Ruth, you did nothing wrong. It was not because of you." "Then why?" Ruth asked, puzzled. "He was so angry." "I have never seen a man send visitors away like that." Amara hesitated, then spoke softly. "Ruth, you deserve to know the truth. That night, after you went to bed, Nozi came to Adrien in the living room. She said terrible things about me. Things I never did. She even told him he should marry her instead, that she is more beautiful and more intelligent than I am. She tried to destroy our friendship and my marriage." Ruth gasped. "What? Nozi said that? Oh my God." "Yes," Amara said quietly. "That is why Adrien sent you both back to the village early the next morning. He did not want you to be caught in her plan." Ruth was silent for a moment, too shocked to speak. Then she said, "I can't believe it. I knew she could be jealous sometimes, but this is wickedness." "Amara, I am so sorry. I didn't know. It's not your fault," Amara replied gently. "I only hope she learns her lesson." Ruth sighed deeply. "My friend, forget her for now. Focus more on yourself and your career. I can see you love teaching. Keep doing it. One day I believe God will touch Adrien's heart and change him. Don't give up on yourself." Amara felt her eyes grow warm. "Thank you, Ruth. Your words mean a lot to me." "Any time," Ruth said softly. "You are my sister, no matter what happens. And remember, God's time is always the best." When the call ended, Amara stood by the window of her classroom, the late afternoon sun falling across the desks. Her heart felt lighter. She whispered a quiet prayer of thanks for a true friend, and for the hope that one day Adrien too would be changed. The next afternoon, as Amara walked out of the school gate, she heard someone call her name. "Amara!" She turned and saw a tall young man, waving with a broad smile. She blinked in surprise, then her face lit up. "Cheek," she exclaimed, "is this really you?" It had been years since she last saw Cheek, a childhood friend from the same village. He had left for the city long before she married Adrien. They laughed and talked for a few minutes. Cheek offered to drop her home. "It's on my way," he said kindly. On the drive they shared memories of village days, school games, long walks to the stream, the mango tree where they used to sit and read. For a short time, Amara forgot the heavy weight of her marriage. When they reached the Cole mansion, Cheek parked by the gate. "It was so good to see you again, Amara," he said warmly. "Take care of yourself." "You too, Cheek," she replied with a smile. He waved and drove away. As Amara stepped inside the house, Adrien came from the hallway. His eyes were cold. "Who is that man that dropped you off?" he asked sharply. Amara looked at him calm. "He is an old school friend. We grew up in the same village. I met him today after many years." Adrien folded his arms. "Really? All this nonsense has to stop. You can't bring men into my house." Amara raised her eyebrows. "Oh wow, so you can bring different women into our house, but I cannot have an old friend drop me off." Adrien's jaw tightened. "That is different." "No, Adrien," Amara said firmly. "I thought you said we are not married. That I'm only married to your parents. So let me be. It should not be your headache. Let me live my life the way I want. The last time I checked, I'm not your class, not your woman. I am a local village girl, remember?" Adrien opened his mouth to speak, but no words came. Amara turned and walked past him, her head high. She left him standing in the hallway, angry and speechless. For the first time, Adrien felt the sting of his own words thrown back at him, and it unsettled him more than he expected. One evening, Amara stepped out of the bedroom wearing a beautiful fitted dress. The soft fabric hugged her figure, and her hair shone under the light. Adrien looked up from the couch, surprised. "Where are you going?" he asked. Amara adjusted her earrings. "To a party. Of course, you are not blind." Adrien sat forward, frowning. "With who?" "None of your business," Amara said without looking at him. "This is my house," Adrien snapped. "You go nowhere." Amara turned and met his eyes, her voice calm but firm. You can't stop me. You said I'm not your wife, remember? Then why are you bothered that I'm going out with friends? Please stay away from me and mind your own business. Before he could answer, she picked up her small purse and walked out, her heels clicking on the polished floor. Adrien remained seated, stunned. For a long moment he stared at the door she had just closed. Something inside him twisted. Anger, yes, but also a sharp fear he could not name. He grabbed his phone and called his mother. Mother, he said quickly when she answered, Amara has changed. She doesn't listen to me anymore. She is no longer staying home. She is always going out. Tonight she just left for a party without even telling me where she is going. There was a short silence, then Eleanor's gentle voice came through the line. I thought you said she is not your type, she said slowly, that she can live her life however she wants. Why are you complaining now, dear son? Adrien rubbed his forehead. Mother, I don't know how it happened. But I am sorry for everything, for the way I treated her. I think I am in love with Amara. His mother's voice softened, but it carried quiet authority. Then the apology is not for me, Adrien. It is for your wife. Call your woman and apologize to her now, before it is too late. Adrien sat back, the weight of her words sinking in. For the first time in years, he felt the strange mix of fear and hope that comes when a man realizes he may have already found the one person he cannot afford to lose. His mother's words kept echoing. Call your woman and apologize to her now, before it is too late. For a long time he just stared at his phone. Pride fought with a new, unfamiliar fear. What if she never comes back, he thought. What if she decides she is better off without me? It was almost midnight when Amara finally returned. The sound of the door opening pulled Adrien to his feet. She stepped inside, looking calm and graceful. The soft scent of her perfume followed her as she closed the door. Adrien cleared his throat. Amara, he said quietly. She turned, her expression unreadable. Yes? I need to talk to you, he began. Please, sit. Amara folded her arms. If you want to shout again, don't bother. I am tired. No shouting, he said quickly. I need to say I'm sorry. She raised an eyebrow. Sorry? For what exactly? You have insulted me many times. You told me I was just a village girl. You brought women into our house. You said you never wanted this marriage. Adrien lowered his eyes. I know. I was wrong. All of it. I thought I was protecting myself. I thought love only brings trouble. But these past weeks, you showed me something different. You are stronger and wiser than I ever imagined. I can't stop thinking about you. Amara stared at him, her heart beating fast. Adrien, you hurt me deeply. Do you even understand that? Yes, he said, his voice almost a whisper, and I will spend as long as it takes to make it right. I am in love with you, Amara. I didn't see it before. I see it now. She was silent for a long moment. I don't know if I can trust you, she said at last. Love is more than words, Adrien. I need to see change. He stepped closer, his eyes steady. Then give me the chance to prove it. No more women, no more insults, just us. Please, let me try. Amara looked at him carefully. In his face, she saw something she had never seen before, real humility. Finally, she said softly, I will watch your actions, not your promises. If you truly mean this, prove it. Adrien nodded. I will. For the first time since she entered his house, Amara saw his pride break. It was only the beginning, but it was the start she had prayed for. Weeks later, Adrien kept every word he had promised. The late-night parties stopped. The strange women who once came and went disappeared completely. He spent more time with Amara, sometimes just sitting with her in the garden while she marked her pupils' books, sometimes driving her to school and waiting to pick her up. One quiet evening he said, Amara, I have been thinking. You love teaching more than anything. I want to give you something that will last longer than money. Amara looked at him, puzzled. What do you mean? Adrien smiled. Come with me tomorrow. I have a surprise. The next day he drove her across town to a wide piece of land. Builders were already at work. Fresh bricks were stacked in neat piles, and a signboard stood near the gate. In bold letters it read, Amara Cole Academy. Amara covered her mouth with both hands. Adrien, what is this? It's your dream, he said softly. A massive school, bigger than the one you teach in now. Classrooms, a library, a playground. You will run it, hire teachers, shape young minds the way you have always wanted. Tears filled Amara's eyes. You built this for me. Yes, Adrien replied, because you taught me what real love is. You showed me patience when I gave you pain. You stood tall when I tried to break you. You made me believe in marriage, in family, in something bigger than myself. Amara wiped her tears and hugged him tightly. Thank you, Adrien. This is more than I ever dreamed. He held her close. No, my love. Thank you for changing me. Months later, the school opened with a grand ceremony. Children from across the city ran through the bright classrooms, their laughter ringing like music. Amara stood beside Adrien, her heart overflowing with joy. From that day on, their marriage grew stronger. They worked side by side, Adrien expanding his businesses, Amara shaping the future of hundreds of children. The man who once said he would never love again had become a husband who cherished his wife. And the village teacher who once feared the city had become the proud founder of a great school. Together they lived happily ever after, proof that patience, faith, and true love can turn even the hardest heart into a home.